Hello, everybody. This is my review of season one of Narcos. Uh, I think it's good. I won't lie. I think it's a really good series. It's hold on one second. Yeah. Um, it has sex, violence, and drugs galore. So it's everything you expect that you could possibly expect out of a Narcos series. Um, I was thinking. I wrote down a few things of what actually happened to keep my mind centered on the plot of the movie and the events that are going on, not only with Escobar but politically outside the country. It starts off with a very. It starts off, very simple. That it lays down the plot right away. Hey, this is how they. This is the smuggler. This is how he smuggles the drug. What drug? Where does he sell it? And then the involvement of the U.S. within this whole thing, because the whole thing, Colombia is a character in the story. Um, I kind of liked how um, Escobar is not treated as this like supernatural being that is beyond anybody's imagination, understanding. He's kind of a down to earth. I will say that the series kind of makes him look like a good guy, sort of like he has all these imperfections. That's kind of what they make it look like, and I can understand that because some reviews I have seen on online, they don't like the series because it kind of portrays him in a good light, in a heroic light, because it kind of makes it seem like everybody's just jealous of him making so much money off of the drug trade, and how uh, everybody's just jealous because of his money. That's kind of what it makes it look like. There's obviously nuances, a little more nuance. There's more nuances than that, but the gist of it kind of tells me that they're focused solely on his money and how much money he's making off of the drug trade, and how everybody's jealous about that, and how he just sort of doesn't he smuggles, so he does it illegally, but um, he really is portrayed in a positive light, because he helped the great claim is that he helped people. He helped the common people in Colombia, and they're always stressing how he was a common man, just became very rich because of something that he discovered, which is the drugs. So they're always portraying him as a common man, the common man, and uh, after a while he becomes so rich that he helps the people with economically, and he starts running for like senator, and he wins in a landslide. But once he arrives into the Senate, they denounce him. The senators denounce him. They don't like him. They don't like the way he's making his money. They think he's a criminal, and they think that all he amounts to is some garbage person that got lucky with life and started making a criminal fortune off of drugs. And he gets denounced and he leaves, and really interesting scene, because he had to wear a tie to get into the Senate chamber, and some guy tells him that on his way in, and he buys it from him to kind of say that he bought his election. And they denounce him inside the camera, inside of the chamber, and he comes out and he gives it back to him. So he's kind of saying, take back your election, take back the election. I don't want it, even though I bought it. So it tells us of everything that he did bad, and at the same time, I was thinking how the one thing that threw me off about this series so far is why you include the American. There's an American who's telling the entire story, narrating everything in third person, and at the same time he's involved in the actual story by appearing in the story. He's not just some omniscient narrator that's telling the story. It's an actual character within the plot. And I'm like, what's the point of that? They already cover American events. If they're trying to include Americans in the American point of view within the story, they're already doing it with their person narrator. He's always telling us that Reagan started the war on drugs because Americans some of them might have gotten jealous of how much money Escobar was making and they weren't getting a cut, and because they tell us that people in Miami were dying because of the drug trade, but they didn't really care. The government didn't really care so much about that as they were about Escobar making so much money. So like the whole point of the entire series is that he's making so much money from it, and people are jealous. The American government is jealous. So America kind of seems like they're really they're super interested in making money off of it and trying to bring it to a stop so that this guy will stop making so much money. And then the theme of extradition to combat the drug trade. They bring in extradition so that the Colombian government agrees to extradition to the United States so that they can extradite them out, and that's what all the drug cartels are afraid of. They don't want to, because getting arrested in Colombia is like it's like being arrested. The jail looks like a park. There's women that they bring into the jail. They conversate. It's kind of a joke, really. The jail time for drug traffickers in Colombia was a complete joke, and their unprecedented violence wreaks havoc on Colombia, and Escobar gets really smart about it. He starts going for the people that are have really prominent roles in Colombian society, like the daughter of an anchor woman who's the daughter of a famous senator, I believe, former president, and she was really beloved by the people, and she was accidentally killed in a raid, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and they had to or the nail that broke the camel's back. So they had to end extradition in a landslide, and they kind of make it seem like Pablo wreaks all this havoc because he's upset that he wasn't allowed into the political life of Colombia, and he never wants to leave the country, and he wants to stay in there, and he calls Colombia his home, and yeah, it was and then Galan, one of the presidential candidates, so this political spectrum kind of grows divided based on the drug trade and how it's developing. So there's one guy called, I think, Luis Manuel Galan or Luis something Galan, and he runs his political platform on extradition, and he gains a lot of popularity because Escobar blew up a plane that ended the lives of 160 something people or 101 people or something like that, and because of that event, people were in favor of extradition. So it's kind of like, it's like a day-to-day thing. Like, people felt, based on that day, their political inclination leaned towards what they felt that day. So that's what and then towards the end of the series, it lessens, like the pace of the story kind of lessens. I started season 2 already. It's still good, but the pace slows down a little bit towards the end of season 1. I'm waiting to, after I review season 2, I'm gonna look at the reviews online of the newspapers, and apparently Pablo Escobar's son noted 28 discrepancies in the series, so that's gonna be interesting to read. So I will say this series feels a little bit, with all Netflix series, they kind of feel underfunded. Like, it feels like they don't have that much money because But it was interesting because you really get to see Colombia, and you get to see Bogota, Medellin, and you get to see this the poverty. You get to see the nightlife. You get to see prostitutes. You get to see those that are in the margin of society. So yeah, I hope you like my review. This is it gave me a lot to talk about, as you can probably tell. It's because it covers so much. It shows you so much in such a small amount of time. 10 episodes, an hour, allow 40 minutes to 50 minutes long each. So yeah, it gave me a lot to talk about. I hope you like it. Thank you. And please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. If you've seen it, if you want to see it, what have I enticed you into seeing it? Let me know. Thank you. Bye.